Good morning. Thank you for joining us and helping us today to celebrate Earth Day 2025. I'm Steve Lasswell. I'm the president of the Board of Sustainable Ways. High Country Recycling has been a part of our nonprofit. Sustainable Ways is a 501c3 since its inception and been a very important part of Sustainable Ways. I was personally involved with High Country Recycling ever since I moved here in 2012, primarily recycling cardboard. Sustainable Ways has its own board of directors, and High Country Recycling has had an advisory board of outstanding people that have caused a lot of things to happen in our community. The recycling center at the landfill, all of the collection points, and we are just lucky as a community our size to have this kind of a recycling presence, which is so important for us, for the county, for the whole planet. Recently, the two boards, the Sustainable Ways Board and the High Country Recycling Board, looked things over and decided to merge. And so now the Sustainable Ways High Country Recycling is one combined board that includes all of these motivated and excellent people. And we're looking for great things to happen coming from that merger. But anyway, welcome, enjoy the program, and thank you for helping us support Earth Day.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, Mother Earth Day, April 22nd, 2025. The first Earth Day was celebrated on April 22nd, 1970 to raise awareness about environmental issues. And this is the poster that was created by Walt Kelly. We have met the enemy and he is us. So High Country Recycling, Custer County recycles, do you. Our mission is to be a comprehensive, successful program that supports individuals, business, and governmental practices that reduces waste, promotes reuse, and advances recycling throughout Custer County. Our objectives are to promote community involvement, educate and raise awareness, expand options, and role model zero waste. Waste reduction is extremely important as we have limited space at our local landfill. In 2022, we partnered with Custer County to establish a drop-off material recovery facility, or MRF for short, for cardboard, paper, aluminum, and steel at the county landfill site. We support local service providers by providing much-needed volunteer labor and or needed equipment that enhance their recycling operations. We focus on maintaining and enhancing recycling opportunities while reducing recycling challenges. The Joni Liebman Recycling Center opened in July 2022. The facility has 5 drop-off windows to collect mixed paper, steel cans, and aluminum. Corrugated cardboard is collected inside the door. The bale barn stores the bales of cardboard, aluminum, and steel. The cargo containers are the walls of the building and store mixed paper, protecting it from the elements of Colorado. Think about all the things you throw away every day, multiplied by all the people who also throw things out. It all adds up. When you throw it away, it has to go somewhere. That somewhere is in landfills with limited space. And you can see the list on the right just shows you how long things last. So paper and newspaper, that doesn't last too long, but plastic bags up to 1,000 years, aluminum cans up to 500 years. So it is important to recycle what we can. Custer County Recycles plays a significant role in expanding the life of the Custer County landfill to serve the community. Their mission is to extend the limited life of the Custer County landfill by providing waste diversion and recovery through recycling services. This includes the operation of the sustainable Custer County owned and operated material recovery facility, the Joni Liebman Recycling Center. Why recycle? It saves you money as you don't have to pay to dispose of recyclables as municipal waste. It reduces municipal waste and extends the life of the Custer County landfill. It provides valuable feedstock to make new cans, paper, and glass products with savings passed on to consumers like us. Cardboard is the #1 material to recycle at the recycling center. And we encourage you to recycle right by emptying and flattening corrugated cardboard boxes. If it has ripples, it is corrugated. If it has no layers, it is paper. And you can see in the right-hand corner just an example of what those ripples mean. Packing and brown paper goes with paper, styrofoam, tissue, bubble wrap is trash. And we want to keep in mind that volunteers are the ones that are going through all this recycling material. So it really is a pain to deal with people's plastic, styrofoam, plastic bottles. The process to bale waste material, you can see in the upper left, is a pile of cardboard, and that pile builds up every single week. A trailer arrives on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we have volunteers there to empty the trailer, dump it into the baler. Then you can see 2 people there. I can't identify them. It looks like Bill and Jeff. They bale the cardboard, whatever that machine is called. No, what's the tractor?
Skid steer?
Skid steer. The skid steer picks up the bale, and then you can see that that area is all cleaned to be filled again. And so the photo on the upper left is how cardboard used to be stored. Basically, since 2010, cardboard had to be stored outside in the elements, degrading the bales, which in turn brought in less revenue. 2 shipping containers were purchased in 2022 with grant funds. Tommy Flower then took it upon himself to create and build a bale barn to store the cardboard and paper bales safe from the elements. We are very grateful for his efforts to help the community, and it was officially named the Tommy G. Flower Bale Barn. Please recycle cardboard. The recycling center is less than 100 yards away from the trash roll-off. To see cardboard in the trash roll-off is just sad. We made it easy for cardboard not to be tossed in with the trash. Please recycle cardboard to keep it out of the landfill. At the recycling center, there's some common courtesy. One is to flatten all cardboard and keep all corrugated cardboard on floor, not in the bins. No chemical contaminated cardboard, no personal trash dumping, no plastic of any kind or sort, no plastic bags, no styrofoam, period, no shredded paper as that can clog up the machine, no aerosol cans as they can explode, no scrap metal, wood, or construction material. Note that scrap metal is collected by the landfill for no charge just west of the landfill bin. And we've gotten some publicity, but that's what it looks like when they come and pick up all that cardboard, and all that cardboard is staying out of the landfill. If you get back to the basics of recycling, it really is simple. Recycle clean bottles, cans, paper, and cardboard. And the reason for clean bottles is really just to keep the aroma of recycling at bay by rinsing out your cans and bottles. Keep food and liquid out of recycling. Believe me, beer left in aluminum really adds up for smelling, And then no loose plastic bags and no bagged recyclables. So if you have aluminum cans and you're collecting them in a bag, when you dump the aluminum, take the bag back with you. And this is just a list of common contaminants, and contamination is definitely an issue. So it is kind of common sense of things that don't belong in recycling. There is an electronic recycle. The town of Silver Cliff does that every year. So May 10th from 9 to 12 at the Silver Dome parking lot, you can get rid of your electronic recycling. With regard to paper, a lot can go into the paper bin. Envelopes, note paper, magazines, construction paper, newspaper, cereal boxes, tissue boxes, and even frozen food boxes, including pizza. So a lot goes into mixed paper, but there are some things that do not belong in paper. Paper towels, Kleenex, napkins, paper cups, coffee cups, tissue and wrapping paper, plastic coated paper and plastic bags, food takeout containers. The food contaminated pizza boxes, they've kind of changed that, and so it can kind of go either or. And the liquid soap or beverage containers don't belong in with paper, it's all trash. A not so fun fact is that Americans throw enough aluminum away every 3 months to build our entire commercial air fleet. Using recycled aluminum instead of virgin materials decreases water and air pollution and energy use by 95%. You can make 20 cans out of recycled material with the same amount of energy it takes to make one new one. People often ask, where does it go? Cardboard is sold and shipped through broker Synergy Recycling to Republic Paper in Lawton, Oklahoma, for the manufacture of backing in the production of drywall. Mixed paper is sold and shipped through Centennial Recycling to Midland Davis Recycling to a Utah mill for insulation products, and aluminum and steel is sold and shipped to Denisio's Iron and Metal in Pueblo for recycling back into aluminum and steel products. So when we recycle here in Custer County, it is going somewhere. What about glass? In July 2022, so all 2022 recycling services that ended in 2020 returned except for glass due to lack of funds for machinery, personnel, and outdoor protected slab and location. In October 2023, HCR members attended the annual Recycle Colorado board meeting in Salida and met Celine from Glass to Glass. In December 2023, HCR campaigned for contributions through the Wet Mountain Valley Community Foundation Spirit Campaign, and in February 2024, Glass Recycling returned to Westcliff, Colorado through a contract between High Country Recycling and Glass to Glass. So this just shows that our Wet Mountain Valley Community Foundation Spirit Campaign, before we asked for glass, we had raised close to $7,000 in 2022. Then we did an ad campaign about bringing glass back to the county, and people responded by raising a little over $14,000 in 2023. And then for 2024, we still said, give us money and we'll keep glass recycling, and people responded. Glass recycling is a community-supported endeavor. We greatly appreciated contributions sent to the Spirit Campaign to sustain glass recycling. Something that I left out here is that every time Big Blue is picked up, it costs $1,180. And so this was our ad campaign for getting contributions in the 2024 Spirit Campaign. And the thing about glass, just like aluminum, it can be forever recycled. It's cleaner. You're not getting microplastics in your body. If only glass would kind of return and replace a lot of the plastic containers. This is Big Blue. Big Blue has been recently rebranded by Anheuser-Busch and is conveniently located 24/7 in town at the Altitude Community Fitness parking lot, who donated the space for glass recycling. Please note that we have 2 Big Blues, and when they get switched out, they alternate between the north side of the parking lot and the west side of the parking lot. This is just to show how prolific we are in recycling glass. When we first talked about recycling glass, we thought we'd get picked up like every 6 to 8 weeks. We get picked up every 4 weeks. And so in 2024, we kept over 50 tons of glass out of the landfill, and we are on target to do that again this year. What about recycling plastic? Well, plastic recycling is complicated with no real solutions available at this time. You can be a part of the solution by reducing your use. It's not easy, as so much is plastic. Think of all the microplastics in your body and the environment. It's out of control. Plastic is a global problem. We encourage you to start by avoiding single-serving water bottles. Use a reusable container to refill with drinking water, and we do have some containers if you'd like to take one. We do advertise, just trying to encourage people to make recycling second nature. The fact that we can recycle cardboard, glass, aluminum, steel cans, and mixed paper in our little town is really quite inspiring. And so this was just another piece that we sent out as every door direct mail to let people know where you can recycle. And also we were very proud of our trailer art project, which I will share shortly. We have a brochure that is available that also lists all the places where you can recycle all the waste. So we also have that available if you'd like to grab one. And then this is a nice little presentation by Nancy. Nancy and Julie work at the school to encourage recycling there. So Nancy has put together this 6-minute video.
So Custer County School Earth Day. All of the papers we use in school come from trees, and here's how it works.
The journey of paper begins in the forest. Imagine standing amidst a sea of trees, each one a potential page in a book, a letter, or maybe even a piece of art. The first step in the process is harvesting. These trees are carefully selected, cut down, and then debarked. The wood is then chipped into small pieces, ready to be transformed into pulp. But it's not just trees that can be used. Recycled materials like old newspapers and cardboard play a significant role in paper production.
The more paper we recycle, the longer our landfill lasts. Here's how Custer County School is helping. Each week, papers from each classroom are collected. Last week's recycling helpers were Evangeline, Jaden, Josh, and Zoe, all 5th graders. Our permanent recycling helpers, Kenny and Avery, they're both seniors and they're moving on. Students collect the papers from each classroom using these carts, which we hope to kind of redesign for future. As you can see that it has some issues. The papers are then brought outside and taken to the recycling trailers. The paper's loaded, actually cardboard's loaded into the trailer, and the bags are loaded beside the trailer. And then the paper's ready for transporting. Steve and Eugene are helpers for that. The trailer is brought here to the facility by volunteers. And you can see on the left-hand side here, 2 full paper cages. So that will get into the baler. And this is Tim turning on the baler so it can warm up. Trailer needs to be backed in. And then they'll open it up. And then unloaded. And you can see that Tim is taking out trash, things that don't belong, pieces of cardboard, plastic that gets put in. And it does take extra time and work, and if it wasn't for our wonderful volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do it. Paper's loaded into the baler. And it is a lot of work. The baler compacts the paper into rectangular bales. Once the baler's full, wires inserted to hold the bale together. And then the bale can now be removed. After all that hard work, we called it a bobcat, but I've now learned it's not, can remove the bales. And they'll be headed over to the bale barn. The bales are stored here until it fills up, and then delivery happens. So, what happens?
Materials are
when it
collected,
leaves?
sorted, and then prepared for the same pulping process as the wood chips. Whether it's fresh wood chips or recycled paper, the preparation of these raw materials is a crucial first step. It's like gathering the ingredients for a recipe. With all the materials ready, we can move on to the next stage of the process. This next stage is called pulping. Now, the real transformation begins. We've moved on to the pulping process, where the journey of the humble wood chip evolves into the very essence of paper. After pulping, it's time to clean and screen the pulp. Next, we ensure the purity of the pulp. Imagine a meticulous custodian sweeping away impurities from our precious pulp. That's essentially what's happening in this stage. The pulp is rigorously cleaned, with unwanted elements like bark, dirt, and small rocks being shown the exit. For those who prefer a pristine white paper, the pulp undergoes an additional step: bleaching. It is optional but vital step for white paper.
A lot of work goes into making paper. And that's why we need to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reuse the backside of paper before we get a new piece. Using scrap paper reduces the amount of new paper needed. When we do have to use new paper, make sure to recycle it. The more we reduce and reuse, the more money the school saves. The last section of our landfill is now being prepared. Let's work together to extend the life of the landfill. We can all do our part to recycle. Custer County School better together. Happy Earth Day, everyone.
Thank you, Nancy. So we have 2 recycling drop-off locations. One is at the Butler Street behind Dundee Memorial Dog Park, and Recycle Roundup is on Lake Deweese Road, a half a mile from 69. This is a photo of what the trailers used to look like, and a thought came into everyone's head to create the trailer art project in the summer of 2024. So here's what they look like, and we could not have done all of the trailers like we did without the help of Eddie Crisp and his class. They took on the project of sanding and painting 13 trailers all blue. So really, they were a godsend because we were trying to figure out how to do it, and most people were afraid. But these kids went at it wholeheartedly and did a fantastic job. Also, artistic director Kim Townsend of K2 Gallery. She was the person who guided all the different groups. We had Amish, Boy Scouts, 4-H, just an adult group. And what I wanted to point out here, we at first thought that we would be doing this project outside, and so we rented 2 canopies from KLZR, and you can see the 2 canopies set up in the middle, and then you can see the canopy is no longer there. A windstorm came that day, blew the canopy apart, knocked down the poles. I even got hit in the head with a steel pipe. So fortunately, Peter, who owns Hanson Hall, we called him up in an emergency, and he opened up Hanson Hall, which then became the location for us to paint all the trailers without having to deal with weather and wind elements. So once again, very grateful for him opening that up. And these are just photos of Kim at work. These were the first 2 trailers that were done, so you can see what they looked like before and what they turned into. Each trailer has a different theme. This trailer was a lot of fun. We had it at the Custer County Kids Council Family Fun Day, where we had plates of paint for people to stick their paw in and put it on the trailer and then write their name on it. So that was a great community engagement. A lot of people enjoyed putting their handprint on. And then these are the other trailers that were done by various groups or local artists. And as you can see, all different themes. The bottom left was painted by the school class. The upper left was painted by Kim. Tess Kane did the horses. The Boy Scouts did the camping scene. I can't remember who did that next one. The quilt was an Amish group. Alice in Wonderland was Molly Parks, and the flowers were the 4-H group. So they've really brightened up our recycling collection locations on Butler and Lake Deweese Road. And we really do encourage people to separate materials to not contaminate the trailers. So we're very proud of this. And since we had the paint, we thought we would do a barrel art project too. Once again, we gathered local artists to paint plain blue barrels. And these collection barrels are available for public events to recycle. They've really brightened up Main Street. We did put a lot of them out on Main Street, but unfortunately, people don't read. So Nancy is our barrel collector, and unfortunately we pull trash out of it a lot, but we're still going to continue to put some barrels on Main Street. And once again, we got publicity that we did complete this ambitious project in a matter of a few months, and that is thanks to all the people that participated. So it's recycling day every day. And unfortunately, Daisy is not here to talk about, oh, okay, okay.
I am here. So one of the ways that we can extend the life of the landfill is through organic waste diversion. The most familiar one is probably composting. This is EcoCycle, a program here in Colorado, and so it kind of got some specific tips for our climate, which is mostly you gotta keep it wet and you gotta turn it. We're so arid that we have to be a little bit more mindful of our compost piles than some other places. But this is kind of just an easy step-by-step process for creating a compost bin. You're gonna wanna find a spot in your yard. I highly recommend that it is far enough away from your house that you don't have rodents, but not too far away that you're not going to want to make that trek in the winter. A basic 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot bin. You can do pallets. There's all kinds of scrap material you can reuse. Ace Hardware here in the valley gets rid of pallets almost every day. You can go down there and get them for free. And we just want to mix 2 parts brown content, which is like leaves from your yard, sticks and twigs, you know, anything down that you would normally put in a burn pile, you can use to start your compost. And then 1 part green, which is going to be grass clippings or kitchen scraps. The right side here shows the different kinds of materials you can put in for your 2 part brown, 1 part green, and the things that you want to keep out of your home compost. So no meat, fish, bones, no oily or greasy foods, no eggs, although you can do eggshells, and no dairy products, and then no compostable serviceware. A lot of people are moving to compostable serviceware in the restaurant industry, which is great, but they are not home compostable in most cases. There are a few things that are, but you're going to have a kind of a significant compost to make that work. Usually we can just keep it moist and keep it turning, and you'll get compost somewhere around 6 months. There is a couple other methods you can do. One is called a trench method, where you dig a very large hole, keep the dirt on the side, dump your compost in, cover it with a little bit of dirt or compost starter, which I have an example of. And then you just keep covering it, and when the trench is full, you leave it, and it takes about 12 to 24 months for it to become soil without turning. So that's kind of the lazy man's composting. One other method of organic waste diversion, if you can't do a compost bin, is just, well, actually first I wanted to show an example I brought. So you just need a container in your kitchen. It can be as small as a reused or yogurt container, or a 5-gallon bucket. Some people have countertop compost bins. Depends on how many people you have in your family, but you just want to collect it until it's full and then take it outside to your bin method. The second option is a worm bin, which I won't go into too much today because that's a lot of details. But if you do have a worm bin, that's kept inside or in a garage somewhere a little warmer, and you just feed them your compost. And then one of the last things I like to do is eggshell collecting. So if you can't do anything else, you can do this. So just rinse off your eggshells and collect them. And then you can stick them in the oven at 170 degrees for about half an hour to kind of dry out the membranes, and then crush them. So this is just a basic crush. I'll let the kids crush it with a mashed potato masher. And then the other final option you can do is to stick it into a blender and grind it into a powder. So there's a million things you can do with this bioavailable calcium. You could feed your houseplants, you can feed your outdoor plants, you can feed it back to your chickens to ensure that they stay high in calcium. All kinds of great stuff, but this is like the easiest, simple way to divert some of your organic material. And that's probably it for me. If you have any more questions about composting, we can do a little chat after.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are always seeking volunteers for a variety of short-term and long-term ways: haulers, sorters, ambassadors, presenters, educators, event coordinators, and volunteer coordinators all helped grow and keep recycling strong in the Wet Mountain Valley. Training is provided for every role, and for more information, you can contact Steve, who is our volunteer coordinator. A simple thing, like I said, Nancy goes to the barrels and takes out the waste. We need people to rake Big Blue, because Big Blue, the glass needs to be pushed around. So there are some very simple tasks. And then Wednesdays and Fridays are bailing days for volunteers at the recycling center. And we do want to thank the High Country Recycling volunteers, the people on the committee, the volunteers that serve at the Joni Liebman Recycling Center, and Custer County Recycle staff. They are paid employees by the county, Tim Harmon and Steve Wilkerson, because they are the two that really keep recycling flowing in the county. And the primary objective and best reason to recycle is to extend the life of the landfill. We are a growing county and we generate a lot of waste. So the more waste material we keep out of the landfill, the longer the life of the landfill to be able to serve the people of Custer County for a long time to come. And there is more information on our website, highcountryrecycling.com. Custer County Recycles, thank you for recycling and thank you for coming today. Are there any questions?